since I know I've sufficiently bored you with some of the background of the JAG Corps and what it takes to be a JAG and all of that. And oh, by the way, I really should have told you a little bit about my background, but God knows you'd be bored to tears. But I feel I must. And that would be that I'd been in the Army since basically November of '87. That's because I was kicked out of Purdue for the typical Animal House violations of social and academic probation. But it all worked out. I came back to Purdue, graduated, ROTC. I was an intelligence officer for a little while, and then went to law school, which I paid for, which I'm sure a lot of people out there are paying for and still paying for, like the rest of us. And then was accepted into the JAG Corps in '95, and you've already heard the history. So that is kind of my background as far as with the JAG Corps. I'm now retired, so I'm free to speak freely about anything or anyone. Okay, we won't go down that road. That's just not nice. Anyway, so the Uniform Code of Military Justice. You're asking yourself, I'm kind of confused. You got this military thing going on, and you got this civilian thing going on. Well, what's the difference? Well, why is it when, they talk about it on the news, whether it be, CBS, NBC, Fox, whatever, they got to bring on an expert? Well, that's because it's different. And that it's different in, well, let's start from the top where it's the same. We all fall up under the Constitution. You remember that document. I usually carry one around with me, but today I think I left it on the train on purpose because this guy sitting next to me, I swear, he needed to know the first 10 amendments. I mean, he was bad. Anyway, so the Constitution. We get our, direction, our regulations, our laws, they derive from obviously the Constitution. Those that are essentially delegated down, to the states, where the states have their own laws, regulations, administrative requirements, those things that control your daily life. For instance, I don't know, who in here has a driver's license? Or who in here has theirs suspended? Okay, well, that's not important. But those are administrative actions. And you know as well as I do that if you're going to get your license suspended, you're entitled to some type of administrative due process. And that's not the only, agency that you would be entitled to. What if you, I don't know, you're an attorney and you're licensed? Obviously you fall up under, certain criteria of the state or the jurisdiction that you're licensed in, and they have rules and they have regulations, and if you screw up, like if you get too many points on your driver's license, you get that suspended. If you commingle funds of your client as an attorney, you may get your license suspended or potentially disbarred. Now, why am I bringing all those things up? Well, because in the civilian community, you've got those things going on. In the military community, you have very similar, things that can occur to military personnel in very much the same way, in that the military, through delegation, by the president, there are regulations, there are laws, there are various other requirements that the military puts on its members to maintain good order and discipline. Now, if you look at the civilian world, and you're talking about, say, licensing an attorney or a driver's license, it's in a roundabout way kind of the same thing. You know, maintaining good lawyers and drivers, I don't know. But in the military, good order and discipline is paramount to a force that is ready, you know, and willing to fight at a moment's notice. And I would hope you would want that. And in order to ensure that, there are things that are put in place, such as administrative regulations and administrative type sanctions that can take place.